We are joined today by the host of the wildly popular podcast, Oh Errol, all-round legend, sports fan, Kiki Stewart. Welcome.
Hi, guys.
William, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Now, first thing we're going to talk about tonight is, I guess, the Bulldogs. The face of the Bulldogs dramas at the moment is poor old Aaron Woods. Now, he's getting shopped around. Umbai's already signed with the Tigers. Mate, is this a club in crisis?
Yeah, massive. I think the Bulldogs are in a huge crisis. I feel sorry for Woodsy. He's been the face of this whole thing. I mean, like, he was a massive buy from Des. This is all a product of Des. Des and Raylene Castle. They've left a fucking mess there, which is ridiculous. Woodsy's come over as a massive buy. He's done his job week in, week out. I don't think he's getting played the right minutes, and he's missed out on Origin. He's going to miss out on tests, and it's all because of the coaching and the whole culture. It's just changed dramatically. I got my life membership this year, and they were saying the culture's going to change. It's going to change. Dean Pay's in. You don't change culture just by having a new coach. It's got to change from the bottom all the way up to the top. And obviously things are happening there. I mean, like Kieran Foran isn't playing that well. He's been busted. I mean, like Clemmer, I was so proud of him on Wednesday night. He was just a fucking beast. I loved it. But I feel sorry for Woodsy.
That's always a risk you run, signing Kieran Foran. He's had a massive...
Yeah, but Woodsy, everyone would have thought Woodsy would have suited the Bulldogs culture. And I just thought he was going to be the big man, him and Clem and Jackson, that's going to dominate the whole comp. They're getting dominated by the smallest packs, and they've got a massive pack. So it's disappointing being an ex-Bulldog playing the way we used to play, to watch them play now. I mean, I would love Clemmer and Jackson, but that's about it.
Well, Kiki, have you ever seen a bigger fall from grace? A bloke who literally 6 months ago was playing for Australia and won a World Cup. He comes in as a big name signing, and 6 months later, they are literally shopping around to other clubs. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, it's quite sad to watch. I think it would be very hard, especially for Woodsy. I was thinking of him on Origin night, seeing all those Blues run out, and to see him not in the team, that must sting.
And the way they
really
played,
sting.
he's probably that's his Origin career pretty much.
Yeah.
It would have killed him.
Yeah, it would
as an ex-Origin
killed him.
player, like, I mean, I haven't really been left out of Origin sides, but just because of injury, just watching the boys, it hurts, but you really go for the boys. But being left out of the side, being amongst the boys for about 4 or 5 years, I think he's been with the team, and to see them come out like Regan Campbell-Gillard deserves his spot, Clemmer deserves his spot, Tarek, I mean, the whole bench, Vaughan, all these sort of players deserve their spots. Woods didn't play up to scratch, but it's not like Queensland when they pick players out of form and then they put that Blues jersey on, and it was just the wrong timing for Woodsy because Freddie wanted a whole new bunch of forwards.
And it's unfortunate. Josh Jackson was the Blues player of the series last year, and he couldn't even get a start. Trying to make rep sides from a side that's getting flogged is a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah,
so
it is.
I can't remember a time, though, also, that if Woods and Umbai go, there will literally be 3 players playing for other clubs that the Bulldogs are playing.
Yeah.
I mean, what a debacle.
I mean, the Tigers last year was, a mess. Then they've rebuilt.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think there's hope for the Dogs, but maybe this is just...
This is what they have to do because they cannot go forward without getting rid of players like Woods, like Mumbai, even though Moses has been outstanding. James Graham's been outstanding because he's playing in a different team, and it helps when you're kicking everyone's ass. Yeah. And he just suits the way that the Dragons are playing. Yeah. But with Woods, you know, mate, the Tigers are going to be playing more than half his salary. And same as Moses, because they need them players. So in a way, the Bulldogs will probably get $1 million on the cap off this, and that's what they need. And I'm not sure what they're going to do with the foreign situation, but they need cap space. So it's a double-edged sword. It sucks, but it's just going to have to happen.
Does Aaron Woods' career rebound from this?
Yeah, it does. I think Woodsy is a class player. He's a class person, and he needs a club. As I said, it doesn't suit the way he plays because he's not getting played the right minutes. Yeah. At West Tigers, he was getting played 30 to 40 minutes in the first half. He's probably only getting about 70 minutes out. He's probably only getting like 45 to 50 minutes. He's not even really getting over 100 metres. He was averaging about 160, 170 for the last 5 years. That's exact, and about 20 hit-ups, 20 tackles, and that's all you sort of need as a front rower. And he was doing the job at every single level. and he's just not getting played the right way.
How do the Dogs get out of this? I mean, if they literally have to shed players just to put a team on the field next year, they talk about Dean Pay coming and changing the culture. How can you change the culture with a team of reserve graders?
I mean, look, I think if the Tigers can rebuild from what they went through last year, the Dogs can rebuild. I do. I don't know how exactly. I mean, I don't have a grandmaster plan. I'm sure Willie probably does. But
There's no plan. There's no plan here. This is just
desperation.
Yeah.
And like the Bulldogs are not that club where they rebuild. They don't rebuild. They get rid of players. They build players. The next crop come up and take their spot. Who's taken their spot? No one.
No.
Because they haven't. Through Des and all them other people that were running the show, they didn't give a shit about the 20s. So before, when I was back there, it was all about the 19s and reserve grade. So there was the next people just coming up. You retire, we come up. You know, and there's nothing like that, because all Des cared about was the first grade team. So he spent all his money on the first grade team. So this is the repercussions and the consequences of his actions. So deal with it.
I mean, you mentioned Des Hasler. Now, what people probably don't understand is why they're in this position. And it's all to do with back-ended deals. Now, can you explain a little bit how that works?
Yeah, well, obviously he done it at Manly, where he was signing Chalky Watmow when he was just, say, he was 29, 30 years old, and he'd sign you on a 4-year deal. So the first couple of years, he might be 400, 500. Then the last couple of years would be 700 and 900. So you're getting these massive deals when you're not even playing your best football. And that's how you get yourself in salary cap trouble. And he did that at Manly with Stevie Maddai, Snake, Gifty, Jamie Lyon, all these sort of blokes. And he's done it at the Dogs. Greg Eastwood, you've got James Graham, who's already gone. You've got these players that are on these back-ended deals in the last 2 years. This is why they're so over the cap. They're sitting on 850, sitting on 900, sitting on nearly $1 million, but they're at the end of their career. So this is a way where you can get a player to go further into their contract. Yeah, I'll sign 4 more years, but they're 28, 29 years old. You're playing, they're pretty much paying for them at the end of their career for what they've done at the start when they're in their prime.
Essentially, they talk about a premiership window. And so why coaches are doing that is because they're trying to get a team together under the cap for that 2-year window.
And look how close they went. They got to 2 grand finals. So if Des got 2 grand finals under his belt, he's a genius.
Yeah.
He got 2 grand finals at Manly. They're not complaining. But he nearly got it at the Dogs. But now because he hasn't and he's left them in disarray, him and Raylene Castle, now they're in this position. So that's how the team and a club stuffs up dramatically, and this is what happens.
Despite my strong prediction that Queensland would win game 1,
And
New
mine.
South Wales came through with the goods and won comfortably. Now, what is happening is New South Wales are stable and Queensland look like they might be in a little disarray. Now, Kiki, this would make you happy.
I'm so happy. I've worked in the game professionally for like 10 years and worked in clubs and whatnot, and it makes you a little bit cynical, but Origin is the only thing that really just like makes me into a fan again.
What about club football?
No,
It's at its best.
I love club football too, but like Origin makes me just off camera. I was like, yay, can we please talk about Origin? It just brings out the fan in me again.
Yeah.
And I went down to Melbourne, and yeah, it just was it wasn't like a rugby league game because no one abused me.
It's a start. It's a start. You might be going to the wrong grounds.
Everyone was really polite, and I was like, "This is odd. No one has, called me the C word," which was it's very strange. Everyone's polite.
You got to stop going to South games.
Penrith games.
Everyone was so polite and very classily dressed. Nice Melbourne.
How'd you find the atmosphere?
It was as I said, it was really well done and everything. It didn't feel like a rugby league game as such, but it was awesome.
Is that because you can't see from the MCG what's going on?
They looked about this big.
Yeah, they did look about. Yeah, they did.
I did not even know.
It was like little
swear.
blue players.
I just want to say sorry to Tedesco for saying that they should have picked Trebojevic instead of him because he was easily their best player.
That's
another
and I thought
terrible.
But I just thought that they would have picked just one of them, Tom or
Or
Tedesco. But
How good was he in the air?
Teddy killed it.
Tom was that tough. I was worried about his play twos coming out of yardage. He was getting slammed by GI. Captain's knock. Yes, sir. One of the best ever.
Yeah.
But like, no one followed him. But like, just going back to to Fox and then Tedesco and Trbojevic, they were inspirational what they were doing. And as a middleman, and when you see your backs running out, getting flogged by GI, getting flogged by all these other guys, the forwards want to get back and do the work for you. And I think because the backs seen the forwards get off to that start when Clemmer was just being a fucking beast, and then you had Reggie coming off the back of that fence, and then you had Frizzell, Cordner, De Bellin. It was just like I was looking at these guys, I was just attacking and attacking. It was good to watch. I mean, I'm not going to get carried away and say they're going to win the series, but I'm quite confident. But it was just atmosphere-wise, going back to that. Like, it was 87,000, nearly 90,000. It felt like probably 10,000.
Well, it did. I mean,
it was very hard to see. I couldn't see shit. I was just like, I was going inside just to watch it on TV, and then it was weird because it was about 1 second behind, then I was watching it live, and then I went out and then watched the whole second half. And when the Fox scored, I told Freddie after this, it's like, I've never felt
pure joy.
a natural high like that for a while. So it was good to see, and I was very, I don't know, elated. I don't know. It was one of them feelings where I've never had it before for ages until maybe last time we won an Origin series when I was playing.
Yeah, it feels like hope. I think there's something really special about the Freddie's. I was watching him on 100% Footy with Gus, and he said of the new outfits, and he said I knew my team was going to be young and fast, and so this is why we're dressed like this.
Their kit was the worst. Every single player hated the kit. It was one of the worst I've ever seen.
This is what he said, though.
Freddie, get your shit together, mate. With boys who need style.
This is what he said. Like, and I think it's cute though that he's like, it's like they're looking towards the future. He's not just like picking on, on form or whatever. They're looking for like this new era and like that hope. It feels like there's a hopeful feeling.
One thing I think that Freddie Fitler has done is he has ruined the pundits now because he's come out today and said, if they're fit, I pick the same side. So there's no chat about who's going to be in the team. There's just, so as a commentator, you've got to focus on the Queensland side. And that is where the real story is.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of work they need to do.
Is there going to be a cultural change? I mean, is Kevy Walters going to rip that side up and start again?
I don't think they'll do that because you got to understand it was 8-6 for about 45 minutes. And the game was in the balance. So, I mean, like, we can carry on and just say, oh, yeah, we got a 22-12 and all this kind of stuff. But, like, I was watching the game shitting myself going, Queensland score here, we're in massive trouble. But we had a really good, quick, really fast pack. We had a really good bench. And our defensive structures were too good for their attack. And I just think with Billy Slater at the back, it would have been a total different game because he does things that Morgan couldn't do. He could have controlled a lot of the kicking game. He's like a little general behind that line.
They need a leader.
So when he speaks and he controls the middle, because their middle was quite inexperienced in Origin with Napa and Wallace, and McCulloch's never played. So when he talks, he doesn't shut up. So he just tells you which way to go. And sometimes they'll get caught with a player going this side instead of that side. So that's when Tedesco went through and Cook was running through them because they stuffed up structurally. And with Billy there, they don't do that. So that's what I mean. Like and especially with his kick chases and everything that he does, which is flat out, and just having Billy Slater as your fullback changes the whole dynamics of the game.
So I just think there's a chance they get rid of McCulloch and bring Hunt into hooker?
No way.
No.
Well, apparently the chat is that Kev Walters really wants Kalen Ponga in the team, but the selectors are saying absolutely not.
I don't understand. He's 20 years old. He's quick enough. He's fast enough. He's good enough. Pick him.
He could have changed that game. Milford came on. Milford did nothing.
They picked Bill when he was 21, and Bill was smaller than Ponga.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember playing against him. He scored that unbelievable try against us. It made him. But at the end of that, he really got sorted out in defence, and he didn't play another rep game for 4 years.
Well, Queensland.
So that's the difference with Ponga. But the game is different. This is like 2004 when you could actually beat the shit out of people, shoulder charge people, drive people's heads into the ground. Now
the good old days.
Yeah, but now Ponga can step around all he wants. No one's going to hit him high. No one's going to shoulder charge him. No one's going to beat the shit out of him. So he's ready. So pick him. But actually don't pick him because he's too good.
We said before the game that the Queensland backline would more than match the the New South Wales back line. It was the Queensland forward pack.
That's
Now-
Well, they were awful.
They were bad.
We're all over them. I mean,
They were
I think I
genuinely
read a
bad.
stat that they barely made 100 metres.
Yeah.
I mean, we
I
just
don't think one forward.
Not
made
one
it.
Well,
forward.
not one forward, yeah. I mean, our forward pack dominated them, and then Damien Cook was so
was
fast out of the ruck
Yeah.
and getting the ball to our speedsters.
But it was so good because our forwards are finding their front so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the ref, I've got to give the refs a bit of a rap. Good on you.
Yes, keeping the game nice and free flowing.
Let it flow. And so Clemmer and all these big boys are finding their front, scatter the ruck, Cook goes. Next time, I'm thinking game 2, if they do their homework, they'll slow a lot of the
They'll
things
have to slow
down.
it.
They're going to have to slow these big boys down because Reggie and Clemmer, they're coming at you big time. And they're big boys. And guys like Frizzell, Boyd Cordner, they're strong guys. DeBellin, they're strong guys.
Yeah.
So they always find their front. Even when you watch them play club league or any sort of level, they're just really strong blokes. And they were stronger than Queensland.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
just look stronger, quicker, faster.
I think Damien Cook, the thing that really impressed me about him, he didn't run the whole game. He picked his mark and he picked
he
it
did.
perfectly. And for him
And he
at that
usually
level,
does.
but at that level, to go into it for your first game and to be that good at your game management is phenomenal.
I just think it was perfect for these debutants, 11 debutants, to debut against a Queensland team that was subpar.
Yeah.
Their forward,
Subpar.
their forward pack was just nowhere near the forward pack that they've had in the last 10 or 12
No.
years. Ours has been growing and been getting better and better. Our backline's been getting better and better. They've gone out and they've picked Addo Carr, they've picked James Roberts, they've picked Latrell. Like it's just a whole different thing. They picked Cleary. They've stuck with Maloney. Tedesco, Trebojevic. It's just a whole new backline. It's a whole new feel. So being in camp, these young kids are different.
They are.
They don't give a shit about pressure. They would have went, bring it on. I don't care.
And
Because they would have known mentally, no JT, no Cameron Smith. That if you don't think that is a massive mental hurdle to get over,
Yeah.
because you're not looking at Cameron Smith leading him out with that smug little look that he does. And
I hate that smug face. I hate it.
And Billy Slater, like you're seeing GI walk out, and he was a fucking animal. GI, you're a legend, and he played like an animal. And I was
Still from New South Wales, though.
If he had 4 or 5 other people follow his lead, something else could have happened.
Yeah.
But he can't do everything himself. He's a centre. People are guarding him. There's people from the inside, from the outside. They're all over GI, and he still played that well. So if he gets a little bit of help from Bill, that left edge could be dangerous
So
again.
Kiki 3-0.
Well, look, as a long-suffering Blues fan and have cried many tears over the Blues, I don't want to get cocky, but I do think, playing in Melbourne, I think they would have been nervous, the boys. But the game's almost sold out in Sydney already. And when they run out, I'm getting goosebumps. Oh, man. When they run out and that stadium will be full of Blues fans and they are going, that atmosphere is going to be
I honestly
electric.
don't think that they would have been that nervous, especially like walking down because
Well,
I saw them walk out.
I know, but because the crowd wasn't like walking out in Suncorp, or it wasn't like being in New South Wales.
Yeah, they're still debuting, Willie.
It doesn't matter. I'm just saying they wouldn't have felt the nerves that you feel in New South Wales.
Okay, well...
And you won't feel the nerves that you do in Suncorp because
that's true.
the crowd is different. The MCG,
Yeah, it's a bit...
you've got 90,000, you got a good 100-metre walk before you get out there. You're probably bored before the kickoff comes on, and then you just get along with it. And I said, these young kids don't get nervous. They embrace it.
Last point, 3-0.
No, 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah, I reckon 2-1.
Manly's year from hell lurches from one extreme to the other, with Manly losing, unsurprisingly, yet again. Now, will Jackson Hastings, this is back in the news again. Is Trent Barrett letting the club down by not picking him?
I think as a supporter, if I was a Manly supporter, I'd want the best 17 picked every single week. Now, Appy Coruscant out for 10 weeks, you put Louis Brown at 9, and as your utility player, it's got to be Jackson Hastings. I don't know what he's done. The whole story never come out. Manly's Manly. They never really let the whole story out. But something's got to happen. This kid he's been trying his best. He's been going to rehab and all these sort of things, trying to be a better human being. So I just think he deserves another chance. I'm not sure what happened with the players. Apparently the players are, we've spoken about this before. Baz said he didn't want him in the team. So if he goes back on himself, I reckon he'll lose the playing group. personally, and as a player, if a coach said that to a certain player and got all the senior players in there and got on his side, and if he goes against that, you piss me off, and then that could divide the whole team. So what I don't know what he's going to do. He's going to have to make a decision which could cost his career, and I think he knows that because it's his third year coaching. Manly's going very ordinary. They don't expect to go ordinary. They expect to make the top 8 all the time, and through injuries and through coaching decisions, they're in this position.
So if a coach comes out, Kiki, and makes a call like that, I'm not picking him for the rest of the year, and then through injuries or form or whatever, that player then demands selection and the coach says no, is that putting his career in jeopardy?
Yeah, I don't know. I've not known a situation like this before, and it's very odd. So being very diplomatic there, but no one's really sort of got to the bottom of what the issue is with Hastings.
No coach has ever said to a player that you're not playing round 6 into the year.
And not in public.
And not in public. Yeah. Maybe you say to a person, look, I'm not going to pick you because I don't like you because you're a bit of a prick.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But I mean, don't put it on Front Street. Like,
that's
just
right.
say, go work on
go
work on yourself. You've got a few issues. You're social anxiety or some sort of mental illness or something.
Whatever
and he's admitted that. He's socially awkward and he's tried to work on that. So I've got nothing against the kid. I mean, Trent obviously has, and the playing group obviously hasn't, because they've messaged him saying, look, we didn't do anything, we want you in the team. So he'd be in disarray, man. He wouldn't know what to think. Now he's in a position where apparently on the weekend he was the best player in reserve grade. So naturally you'd progress up. You'd think that.
The rumours are that the playing group don't want him. Barrett would pick him. And then there's other rumours saying that Barrett doesn't want him and the playing group does want him. So there's so much misinformation.
What needs to happen is Baz needs to front the media and just tell them straight, this is what's happening, this is what I'm doing, end of story. I'm not picking him, I'm picking someone else, end of story. Just nip it in the bud. Baz, he's a man's man. He knows what to say. He can't please everyone. I'm not picking him because of my morals and standards. He's stuffed up beyond repair. That's it, full stop. And then you can end all the shit that we're talking about if he just fronts the media and just says, look, I'm not picking him.
Not the best way to shop a bloke around to different clubs, though, saying he's such an arsehole. I'm not going to pick him, but you should buy him and then get him off our books. It's not the best hard sell.
Could have been handled a lot better, and it was handled absolutely rubbish. So this is the outcome.
So you've worked in media departments in footy clubs before.
I have, yep.
So was it Barrett that came out and said that himself off his own bat, or was he told to say that?
The coach is always number one. Media managers do not control coaches.
Yeah.
The media managers are the mouthpiece of the club. But we are told what to say.
You work within a framework.
We're told what to say. Yeah, we're not.
So
in
you
control.
reckon Willie's come out? That's him. That's him.
Just Baz. That's Baz speaking from the heart, and I just think he obviously just didn't like what Hastings was doing at training, didn't like how he was acting, didn't think he was part of the culture, didn't think he was going to be part of the future. So he's come out and just said it. Obviously, he's regretting it now because the club and the injuries has just put him in such a prick of a position. But picture it if no one did get injured and they were killing it. They're in the top 4, which they should have been. And DCE's playing on fire. He looks like a genius, but it's just backfired on him because they're playing shit. And they've got injuries in that position, so it doesn't look that smart.
It appears the Australian rugby team watched our show on how to fix all their problems, because out of nowhere they have beaten the second-ranked side in the world, Ireland, in what was a really good game of footy.
It was a beatdown. They absolutely slammed them. I mean, Alistair Baxter was on here a couple of weeks ago and he was talking about, we need to win this sort of game. We need to put, stamp our authority on world rugby. Ireland just coming off the Six Nations. They just won that. They're number 2 in the world. They're coming down here. He reckons they won't be as focused. But I think with that beatdown they just copped now, I think game 2 in Melbourne is going to be ferocious because some of the comments I was reading, I'm not sure how much the Australian side's going to read into it, but it was the most aggressive, hardest team we've played for years. And I'm like, are they trying to play little mind games? Because in league, you wouldn't say shit about a team who beat the crap out of you. You would not give them any sort of raps. I mean, you played union before, but I mean, I don't understand them giving them that many raps because I think they might get ambushed down in Melbourne.
Well, the Irish have got 2 or 3 blokes that they rested in that first game that came off the bench.
Yes.
Johnny
And they
Sexton.
Sexton's
and
one of the
they'll start,
best.
You know, and so it's going to be a very different game. But the Australian side, that's the first time they've played together.
Curly Beale looked like Sonny Bill out there in 2004.
Yeah.
Seriously, no one was getting past him. I mean,
Yeah.
like Pocock, everyone was whinging about Pocock and Hooper. Well, you got to pick one of them at 7 because they're both 7s. Pocock's a beast.
Pocock's
So's Hooper.
a beast.
They both got picked in the team of the world or whatever they just picked over the weekend. 6 and 7. So that was out of the Springboks, the Frenchies, and the All Blacks and the
Pocock
Wallabies.
came back from his sabbatical, so he was fresh.
It's his first game in 18 months.
Yeah.
and
He's
the
just
way he
an
plays.
absolute animal.
Dewy and fresh.
I think, to be honest, what Australian rugby needed was this series to, well, they needed a win first and foremost, but they also needed the public to get behind it.
Yeah.
They got 50,000 at Suncorp, and the next 2 games are sold out. And there's, I mean, you know yourself, there's nothing better than a big crowd that get the side home.
And especially with all the bad press with Israel Folau and everything, I guess they needed this sort of, boost of positive PR.
And also, during that game, when Folau scored that try that got called back, him and Pocock had a big hug. Like, it's obviously not affecting all of the talk about that Israel Folau thing. It hasn't affected
bullshit.
the team.
It's not going to affect
one
the
bit.
team. I mean, Izzy's Izzy. He said he's got every right to say what he wants.
100%.
I don't condone anything he says, but when he puts that jersey on, you just won, and that's how they played. And that's all we want to see as Australians. Is like when you put that green and gold jersey on, beat the shit out of people, be aggressive, like play how like we used to seeing the Wallabies play. You know, they're so aggressive, and I mean, what they did to that Irish pack and their backline, and some of the comments that were coming out of the captain's mouth, I'm like, wow. I was very surprised that we even won. But as you said, like they've got a lot of work to do. The Irish, I think they might be still on their little celebrations of the Six Nations. So I think
They are Irish.
Shit,
So.
I think shit just got real for the Irish, and I think when they go down to Melbourne, it's gonna be a proper test.
I think the Irish are taking this very seriously. I mean, the English came down in 2015 and beat us 3-0. I think the Irish would have loved to have done that.
We spoke to Al Baxter about it, and he just wanted to put pride back in that jersey. And we both spoke about it. I said, when Australian sports are going good, the Wallabies are winning.
Yeah.
And everybody's sort of getting pumped over it. And obviously at the moment, everyone's talking about Origin. No one's really talking about this. Now everybody's talking about the Wallabies.
Yeah.
And obviously Origin's never going to disappear on the east coast of Australia. But down in Melbourne, there's going to be, it's going to be a sold out joint. So good on them. I was happy that they actually played some really good football.
My favourite part of the whole thing was the new hooker, Brendan Paenga, and him singing the anthem. If that didn't give you goosebumps, nothing will.
Yeah, mate. It was a great win.